you know that Northerners, they are the richest in Nigeria? I'm not capping. Northerners are the richest. So guys, you guys should try and respect Northerners, because if they are rich, they are rich. Hey God. If they are rich, they are rich. Like rich. But one thing about them is...
Hello, what's up guys? In this video, we have something that has shaken Nigeria to its core. A top northern political figure has come out boldly to declare that the North is richer than the South, and he says he's ready to debate this with anybody, anytime. Now, listen closely. In a recent interview on Channels TV, this northern leader didn't make a passing comment. He went deep, giving shocking reasons why he believes the North holds more wealth and potential than Southern Nigeria. He started by reminding Nigerians how Northerners themselves were behind the fall of past leaders, from Babangida to Abacha, even to Yar'Adua. According to him, Northern politics has always been filled with power struggles, betrayals, and leaders fighting themselves. But here is where it gets even more interesting. He looked straight into the camera and told his Northern brothers and sisters, the North is richer than the South. He pointed to the massive population, vast fertile land for agriculture, and untapped minerals scattered all over the region. In his words, while the South mainly depends on oil and gas, the North has nearly every mineral resource you can think of. But sadly, they have failed to maximize it. And then he asked the big question, who is deceiving who? He blasted Northern leaders, governors, traditional rulers, even politicians, accusing them of fighting each other on live television, pouring mud on themselves, and playing double games behind closed doors, all at the expense of ordinary Northerners. According to him, this endless infighting and hypocrisy are the real reasons why the North, despite its enormous wealth and resources, continues to lag behind. Guys, I will let you watch this video for yourself so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already done so. Take a look guys, and remember to share your thoughts after watching.
It was Northerners that put even far more pressure that got Babangida out of power. We keep doing this to ourselves. Abacha came in, brought some of them, made them minister. When he got tired, dropped them from ministers. They ganged up, fought him, got him out of power. Yar'Adua, what did he go through with Northerners? So when we sit down, I keep saying this thing since they started this argument, oh, Northern interests. I want my brothers and sisters in the North to know. And there are a lot of young people, brilliant people. Our region is so blessed. I tell you this, Sean, believe me, and I'm ready to debate this with anybody. The North is richer than the southern part of Nigeria. In what sense? The only thing is that we've not had a situation where we maximize our potential. What sense? We have the population, we have the fertile land for agriculture, we have all the minerals and resources you can ever think of. In the southern part of the country, you are talking about only oil and gas. There is no any mineral you think about that you do not have in the northern. I think every part of the country, in the northern part of the country. No, let's not make this the purpose of saying this. The purpose of saying this, depending on where you are standing. The purpose of saying this is not to create a debate. It's to make you understand that we have huge potentials. So who is deceiving who? Look at a lot of Northerners. Every day we are fighting ourselves on television and the rest. Is it that there are no leaders in the North? Traditional rulers, 19 Northern governors. You will see very prominent Northerners who are those that we should call our leaders, pouring mud at themselves in the public glare. There's some Northerners, some Northern leaders will go behind, clap hand and the rest, play double game. And so the whole of this thing has become so much of toxic and at the expense of the majority of Northerners. So anybody who will come and sit here and say, oh, I'm talking for the North and speaking for the North, nobody is... Give me a moment. Let me jump in quickly, just a moment. There is nothing, and I repeat, there is nothing that I have seen in terms of any organization. Look, take for instance now, the PDP that you are talking about. Are they not Northerners that were seated there that flush out Atiku?
In the North, if I am the president or if I'm the governor in any state, we are richer than the South.
In what sense?
Many ways. Three things. The North, agriculture, if we concentrate on three things: agriculture, solid minerals, and solar, we'll be done. All the water, all the hydroelectric power stations are in the North. Mambila. The Northeast is complaining there's no power. When
Mandela isn't, nothing is happening.
Yeah.
There are a lot of lamentation.
Yeah, who was there? Who was there before? If we had developed Mambila, we wouldn't be in this mess. The North is richer than the South. We need
terms of
agriculture.
Untapped deposits.
Absolutely. We have the land for agriculture. We can feed not only Nigeria, but the whole of West Africa. Secure our people, let them go back to the farm. Number two, and do not abandon agriculture and go and run after this oil that is fluctuating all over the place. Solid minerals, we have it all. Why is the fight in Zamfara and all over this northwestern state? Because of gold.
Largely.
Yeah, a lot of it. And then previously in the last government, the National Security Advisor will come and say, oh, mining has been banned, no fly zone, no follow-up. Thirdly, and people should ask, where has been the gold of Zamfara? Where is the gold? We have the sun. We can power not only the region, but we can power the whole of the country. Whatever, all the governors largely, I mean, look, we look at the president more than we look at the governors. To be honest with you, largely 80% of our problems are the governors. Corruption and bad governance, I've said it again and again and again and again. We've had leaders in this country that we have benefited from. And all of these governors, all of these ministers have benefited from the good governance of our leaders past. All of them.
In the First and Second Republic.
Absolutely. They were good custodians of that which they were entrusted with.
What went wrong? Where did we start to get it wrong?
They were good custodians. They trained us. They did not accumulate. But now everybody else, the governor wants to not only accumulate, but leaves the state treasury empty. Not only that, indebted. So the primary thing is corruption and bad governance. Corruption and bad governance. It's everywhere. It's only more pronounced here because of the insecurity. It's going to bite us. And I've been saying it again and again, again and again. How many governors, how many ministers, how many service chiefs can retire and go back home and stay? Like those leaders of our time used to do. They used to go back home and stay with their people. Shagari went back home and stayed with his people. How many of these governors, these service chiefs, these ministers will go back home? Ancestral home. They're all IDPs in Abuja because of bad governance.
On Nigeria, we are the power of Nigeria. To me, that is a delusion of the highest order. The dynamics have changed. What is the GDP of the North in comparison to that of the Yoruba land, in comparison to that of the East? And the last time I checked, there is no comparison. Lagos is operating as a country on its own. Lagos can feed all, if not to some certain extent, almost the whole of the North with its GDP. And when you feel you want to fight an attack and win victory on a particular region, what do you use? It's not the game of numbers. It's the game of resources. And it's evidently clear now that they have their resources more than you. So why are you still living with that delusion that you control Nigeria and you control the power? It's not. It's only when it comes to shady politicking, fanatic religious ideologies, that is where numbers count. But when it comes to progress and development, numbers don't count. Numbers doesn't count. It's evident. Don't pursue numbers. Don't pursue radical religious ideologies. Pursue development. Pursue quality of life. Stop marrying so many people and giving birth to so many children that you can't account for, that cannot compete with the global trend. That is just it. Until you learn that, you will live with that delusion. And I'm telling you wholeheartedly that that delusion is highly unrealistic and it's not the reality of the day. Do you realize that?
Why is the north of Nigeria poorer than the south of Nigeria? So, poverty, as we all know, is a global issue, is a global phenomenon. Most countries, especially developing countries, are suffering from the problem of poverty, which has a whole lot. But then, as it is a global phenomenon, it is also a national phenomenon here in Nigeria. That is poverty across the regions of the country. But then poverty in the north of Nigeria is more pronounced than the south of Nigeria. According to a recent statistics released by the National Bureau of Statistics (NBS), there are 133 million people living in poverty in Nigeria, and the north alone accounts for 86.2 million, which is equivalent to about 65% of the total number of poor people, while the south accounts for about 46.9%, which is equivalent to 35% of the total people living with poverty in Nigeria. So here in this video, I'm going to give you 5 reasons, I think that's in my own personal opinion, why the north of Nigeria is more poorer than the south of Nigeria. And number 1 is the subsistence level of agriculture in the northern region. As we all know, the north of Nigeria accounts for about 70% of the total land mass in the country, which implies that there is more arable land in the region. So definitely agriculture is the dominant industry in the region, but then it is treated more as a traditional occupation rather than a business. So what the kind of agriculture that is being practiced is mainly at that subsistence level. There is less innovation, there is less use of modern technique and precision agriculture, and there is less yield. So if there is less yield, definitely there will be less revenue that is accrued to the region in that regard, and so that will affect the number of people that are being lifted out of poverty in the region. And number 2 reason I'll give for this, in my own opinion, is lack of value addition. That is the lack of storage facilities in the region. Sorry, not storage, I mean processing facilities. It is very, very important to note that value addition has to do with the processing of raw materials into semi-finished or finished goods. So like in the case of the north of Nigeria, agriculture, which is the dominant sector, is being plagued by the problem of lack of processing. So you see, whereby farmers produce goods and their farm produce, they are usually sold to the other parts of the country in the raw form without adding value. Now, the third reason for the high level of poverty in northern Nigeria is insecurity and political instability. We all know that Nigeria has unfortunately had its own fair share of insurgency, sectarian and ethno-religious crises here and there, and the north of Nigeria has been left to bear much of this burden. For instance, if you are conversant with the history of the north of this country, like from the 80s, there's been the Metasine insurgency and the various religious and ethnic crises that has rocked different parts of the north, like Kaduna riots, the Jos ceaseless riots, the Boko Haram insurgency that has ravaged the northeast and is still not even defeated, and now most recently the menace of banditry that is ravaging the entire region. Almost no state is spared from crisis. Some call it farmers' headers crisis, some call it insurgency or whatever, but the north is under siege with different level of violence. This has been going on for over the years now, and definitely it has affected businesses. It has affected the level of foreign direct investments that comes into the region. So you see, most times when statistics have been declared, you see that the south of Nigeria has more foreign direct investments than the north, which implies less jobs for the region, less revenue, less taxes, and so on. So this has contributed to the high level of poverty in the region. Now, number 4, now, in opinion, the cause of higher level of poverty in the north of this country is socio-cultural factors. For instance, the issue of early marriage and having an uncontrollable number of children is a cultural practice that has been going on for so long in the north. So it is common to see a man with so many wives and so many children. So this unfortunately has contributed to the high level of poverty in the region, because when you don't plan your family, definitely it means you are going to have less resources to cater for too many number of people that you can't even afford to. So that has left the northern region with high level of destitutes, both children, women, as a result of that. Then I think the last but not the least I would like to mention here is lower standard of education and inadequate skills acquisition and development. I think the south of Nigeria, if you want to compare, is more endowed in terms of education and skills development than the north of this country. But then there is a historical account to this. Western education, or what we know as the formal education, was introduced first in the south of the country before it was introduced in the north. But this is not an excuse to say why the north is lagging behind, actually, because the colonialists have left over 50 years ago now. So definitely there's been a number of years for the north to catch up in that regard. But then there's still much that needs to be done. But this is not to say that a lot of the governors in the region and even the federal government has not invested in terms of education in the region, because we have seen beautiful schools and high institutions spreading everywhere. But then one may be tempted to ask, what is the quality of the teachers teaching in this school? So definitely for the north to catch up and get out of the woods, the level of education, the kind of skills, especially tech skills and relevant education, needs to be given proper attention.
Small time una go dey shout wetin the north get. The north is the poorest state in the country. The north is the poorest region. Small time una go dey shout say the north is the poorest. I don't understand una. Wetin una even get for that south? If una get natural resources, we get food. If una get crude oil, we get food for north. Now we dey feed the nation. That yam wey dey carry go south, now we dey farmer. Now we dey carry groundnut go far south. We dey farm groundnut, we dey farm yam, we dey farm jirikon, we dey farm milo. Watermelon wey you dey drink, now we dey carry am go. Shebi you dey chop apple, now you dey farm apple. Onion wey you dey use cook food, now you dey farm am. That egusi soup wey you dey chop, you know how they dey farm egusi? Small time una go say we get crude oil, wetin not contribute for this country. Now we dey feed this country. Make they divide this country. Make they divide this country so that you go know. There are so many countries in the world today, they don't have crude oil, they survive. China is the most fastest growing economic country in the world. They get crude oil. They get oil. Now agriculture they use to survive. When they talk about good leadership, now they talk say they know they spoil the country. Now they not be president now. Now they not be president now. When I get everything, but when I brother they not here. Yoruba they not, Igbo they not. And when they talk, Igbo when they pay me pass. Igbo when they fit stop for southeast. When I know fit stay for una land, una pack una self for every part of Nigeria. There is no every part of Nigeria where you go, go see Igbo man. For my village, they even they stay for my papa house for free. Their shop na free they stay. The worst of all say Igbo go come your side, go even come build the house where fine pass your own house. You will get land. Small thing una go say, what else they contribute for this country? Oga will they contribute food? No una chop una crude oil, we chop our food. Shebi you all drink crude oil, na crude oil they drink. No be food you they chop. How many people they buy for it every day? But everybody they chop food. Now they not be the engine room of this country. No be crude oil, na food, agriculture. Small town now go they say what you know they contribute. If you don't know, now we they give you yam, they chop. Now we they carry orange. Natural resources where they not. Now government know what they do. You know what they call oranium. You know how much be oranium. You know what they call green. You know. Nasarawa State is the home of solid minerals. You know that one. Go now see. Forget. If Nigeria government want make country good, every part of this country get natural resources. Now we no want use them. Say we now get crude oil. South is get crude oil. Southwest get crude oil. No be only South side get crude oil. The only thing Southwest get na Sipo where they Lagos. And that Sipo they not can do it anytime. So if you are fighting for good governance, nobody should come and say this person. We are not the problem of ourselves. Now government be our problem. No any tribe they enjoy for this country, whether you be Hausa or you be Igbo or be Yoruba, nobody they receive in one special treatment for somewhere. But me no come be like say nah, the northern part of Nigeria be everything with this sport. Small thing now say, but they know they contribute. With the feed una. Now we they give una food they chop. If you don't know that food where they chop, now we they give you. I feel no buy for it today, but you must buy food tomorrow. What they talk?